Hey, this is Les from the TV Dudes. This year, as part of our coverage at ATX Television Festival Season 8, I was lucky enough to sit down and chat with producer Ngoc Nguyen. We talked last year with some of the folks from the project Everyone is Doing Great. And this year we got a chance to talk with Na about her role as producer on the show, how she found her career in storytelling, and more. Hope you enjoy.
This is Les from the TV Dudes, and I am lucky enough today to talk with somebody that we got to speak with, well, who arranged some great interviews for me last year, but I don't think we got to speak directly.
Hi everyone, my name is Ngoc Nguyen. Thank you so much for your time, Les. It's really nice to see you again.
It's really great to see you. And so we talked last year about Everyone is Doing Great. I got to talk with the leads last year and Michelle, who we'll speak with in a moment. But can you tell me a little bit about the project, your role in it, and how it came together? Separate question, where it is now versus last year?
Absolutely. So Everyone's Doing Great is a TV comedy series independently made by two actors named James Lafferty and Stephen Colletti, who I think most people will know from their days on One Tree Hill as actors. Mm-hmm. I actually met James Lafferty through some of the executive producers on the show, the Nelms brothers, who are wonderful writer-directors, and James has acted in their last three movies. Mm-hmm. They just fell in love with James years ago, and he was in their movie Lost on Purpose, then Waffle Street, then Small Town Crime. I did the publicity for Small Town Crime, and then just really fell in love with the guys and all the creative things that they were doing, and we had such a great experience working together. Then James and Stephen asked me to come on board for Everyone's Doing Great as a co-producer and a publicist for it. And so we've just had a really great fun time working with the show. Last year it played here at the ATX TV Festival, and we shot the pilot before that, played the pilot here. And then after ATX, we actually launched a Indiegogo campaign to help raise funds for the rest of the season here in Austin. It was the kickoff. And so we were able to raise a nice amount of money through Indiegogo with the generous support of their fans from the show. And then we shot 7 more episodes, and they're in post-production right now. James and Stephen are editing it on their own.
That's great. Yeah, I really liked Small Town Crime. I thought that was a great movie. That's what first introduced me to the Nelms, and then following them onto the show was cool. Can you talk a bit about your other project we were discussing off mic, Power On, which you're doing through Google? Is that right?
Yes. So I also just produced a short film series that was funded by Google, and it was created by a wonderful production company called Straight Up Films, which is a female-founded and run production company. They came to me with the idea, and initially it was to focus on inspiring girls in computer sciences, the STEAM fields, so science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And the idea was it was a couple of different things. We wanted to be as intentional as possible with the series from the beginning, and so we wanted to offer it out to actresses as a way to celebrate the intersection of entertainment and technology. And so the actresses we went to, we also wanted to offer the opportunity to people who never had the chance to direct before, so first-time directors. Julie Bowen from Modern Family, Rosario Dawson and Nikki Reed, also Anna Brennan Contreras and Lisa Edelstein, who are wonderful actresses, but going behind the camera for the first time. So they each directed their own short, each very personal stories, and they're up on YouTube now.
That's great. In terms of producing, doing PR, how did you get into this side of entertainment, this part of the field? I mean, I assume you've got to have a love of movies and a love of storytelling, but this is a particular job that maybe most people don't know exists when they first are watching movies and falling in love with it. How did you get into this role?
I actually had a really interesting journey into entertainment. Both of my parents are doctors, and I was like, just to go back, a little bit, I was born in Vietnam, and we escaped here, and I ended up growing up in Texas. My parents were doctors who had come to America for, to try to give a better life for their own kids. And I was on my way to following in their footsteps and be a pediatrician. And I went to college in Austin, and I thought one summer, I kind of want to do something fun and take summer off before I was supposed to take the MCAT and spend another 7 years in medical school. So I thought, I'm just going to volunteer for a couple of festivals. And I interned at the Austin Chronicle, Texas Film Commission, Austin Film Festival, and South by Southwest. And at the end of the internship, I ended up getting offered 2 jobs at the festivals. So I ended up just quitting school, taking a leap of faith, and working in entertainment in the festival circuit for a couple of years. Met some really great filmmakers, and one of them happened to be Robert Rodriguez, who's based here in Austin. He had a deal at Miramax Films at the time, and he and his then producer who co-founded Troublemaker Studios with him, Elizabeth Avion, they were so kind and helped me get a job at Miramax. And so I fell into it. I started off as a temp in casting and development. And then after a couple months, the only job that was available was in publicity as an assistant. I didn't really understand what publicity was. I didn't understand how integral it was to a film and a TV show. Even from the earliest stages of casting and development and pre-production, you have to start thinking about marketing and publicity. And I took the job just because it was the only thing that was available. And then one thing led to another, and 10 years later, I was still in it and working as a publicist for other places. I went from Miramax Films to a talent agency called Creative Artists Agency. Then I went to Paramount Pictures and was a publicist there for 6 years. And then after I left Paramount, I always wanted to find a way to connect all the passions that I had, which was sports was something I loved, and philanthropy was also something that I loved. And because of the great internships and the mentors that I had, I always loved championing young girls as well. So serendipitously, one of my colleagues from Paramount Pictures, a woman named Sarah Hirsch Bordeaux, was also from Texas. She moved back home to Austin and was approached by the United Nations Foundation to produce and direct a TED Talk, a TED Women event. And so she asked me to come on board and run the PR campaign for it. So we helped launch the inaugural TED Women event in Austin, and one of our speakers was a young lady named Lizzie Velasquez, who when Lizzie was born, she had a rare syndrome that only 2 other people in the whole entire world had, and that she couldn't gain or maintain any fat on her body. And so she was bullied heavily in her childhood and in school. So she gave this really empowering and inspiring speech that ended up going viral. And because it went viral and people wanted to learn more about her, Sarah just knew that her story deserved more than just the 13 minutes that she had on stage. So Sarah came to me and she said, look, I have this crazy idea of producing and directing this documentary about Lizzie's life. Would you want to join me? And so we, again, took another leap of faith, had no idea how to produce or direct a movie, and we had only marketed them before. And so we did it together, we learned together, and that was my first film that I directed, and that kind of, it grew my love for producing, and so I've tried to do a little bit more of it ever since.
That's great. Thank you so much for talking to me about the project, and I look forward to seeing the next set of episodes when they're done with post-production from
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter @TV Dudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.